Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Keith Bohr, and welcome to another episode of Homeless in Titusville. I've recently partnered with Homeless Lives Matter, and today we're at Spaceview Park, and we're talking with, what's your name?
Mandi.
Mandy. And Mandy, how long have you been homeless?
Off and on for a lot of years.
A lot of years. And where do you lay your head now at night?
It depends.
So,
If I sleep.
so a friend's couch, the park, behind a
No,
gas
I've never
station?
slept in the park or behind a gas station, but I'll stay up all night, or I'll get the money for a hotel usually.
And so what are your days like? Like, what do you do to earn money? How do you feed yourself?
Things that you probably wouldn't want to know about.
Things. So adult things.
Yeah, probably.
So let me ask you about that. Has that changed your view or feelings that you had about men?
Oh, of course.
So every man is kind of out there looking for something from a woman for the most part?
It's not that. It's just it's hard to even get in a relationship or anything else, and it's kind of hard to being in the life that I'm in. I've been doing this a long time. I didn't have a very good start in life, which is an excuse, but
Yeah. What was your start in life? I mean, like,
I bounced from place to place as a young child. My entire family was on meth. You can remember, we wouldn't even be able to take a bath as there was meth labs in the tub and things like that. And when we came here, I met someone that was 20. I was 13, and I moved in with him, and here I am today. Yeah.
So you had some children at a young age. And did you finish high school?
No, I dropped out. I dropped out in middle school.
And was that here in Titusville? Did you grow up in Titusville?
Yeah.
And how about your children today? When's the last time you've seen your children?
I see my children a lot.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. My mom, actually, if it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't be able to see him at all. But
So your mom's recovered? Because you said you...
my mom was kind of, I don't want to talk about my mom.
It's okay.
That's not her story. This isn't her story.
It's your story.
This isn't her story, but my mom is perfect. She has my kids and my sister's kids, and her and my stepdad raise them, and she makes sure I see them.
So are your children healthy and
Oh, yeah.
you're doing well in school and everything's good with them?
Oh, one of my children has behavioral disorders. Like he'll get police escorts home from the school. He's only 7, but he's ADHD and a lot of other things, and that wasn't from drugs. I quit when I was pregnant with him, but he was born early, extremely early, and so mentally he's not developed, and physically he's a little smaller. But other than that, I have another child that's actually excels in school. He got an acclamation award from the mayor for having the highest FCAT scores.
Wow.
And he's a grade advance. He's smart as hell.
That's awesome. So what kind of drugs have you struggled with, or do you struggle with now?
Just crack.
Crack is the main...
Is the only.
Is the only thing.
Right now, yeah.
So you don't drink, you don't do anything else. It's.
I've never shot up. I don't smoke weed. I smoke cigarettes and I smoke crack.
Do you remember the first time you ever tried crack?
Yeah.
And what was it that was so attractive about it? Like what did it do to me? How did it make you feel?
You forget everything else but crack. There's nothing else.
Does it make your heart race? Does it
Well,
give
yeah,
you a feeling in your
there's that,
stomach?
but the most thing that for me is just mentally, it just drowns everything out.
And what's the longest period of time you had of sobriety from crack?
3 years.
And how did you find that before? How did you find that
I was pregnant, and I got myself sober, and then I left here.
you left the Titusville area?
I went to California. I went all the way across America.
So what's the plan? I mean, you can't do this forever.
I don't have one, and I can do it forever if I choose to, but right now I don't have a plan.
And how old are you?
20. I'll be 29 on Thursday.
29 Thursday. So your last year in your 20s, is there any goal in your mind you say to yourself, I want to quit this before I'm 30, or no?
Not yet.
You're just kind of taking it day by day?
Kind of right now.
So what's a day like for you? Where are you generally at 8 o'clock in the morning?
Depends on if I'm up. If I'm not sleeping on Main Street. That's where I spend 100% of my day, usually.
And do you have a boyfriend or anything?
I did. He left me.
You did.
I was actually doing really good. I had a place and I was raising someone else's child, and I was sober. I wasn't sober, but I was doing good. And he actually, I was working for the a cab company. I won't mention their name, but
Right.
I was doing dispatch at night, and I was caregiving for someone, a veteran, that couldn't really care for themselves. They didn't need too much care. My boyfriend left me, and the child went back with her mother, and that was in the same night. A couple days later, the person went into the hospital, came back out of the hospital needing more care than I could provide, at which point I had to move out, without barely any notice, and I lost everything. And so I'm back out here, and that was about 3 weeks ago.
So you've relapsed. You've only been back out on the street for the past 3 weeks?
Yeah.
So this is really fresh, and
Yeah.
that you're back out here.
Yeah.
And some of the things that you have to do to make money, I don't know if a lot of us could do them. And are there any soup kitchens or Salvation Army or anything like that?
There is a soup kitchen here. They serve 1 meal a day, 2 meals a day, but there's no overnight Salvation Armies. There's nothing. Also, there's no voluntary rehabs here. I mean, I've knocked down the doors of so many, and I was put on a 9-month waiting list at one point in time. I think
So you wanted help so bad, and you couldn't get it?
And I couldn't get it, and I think it's ridiculous that even in Brevard County, you have to travel outside of the county to get help to begin with. After you go outside of the county, there's a list. Court orders come first, needle users, and then pregnant women. Now, court orders, a lot of people are using that to get out of prison. So they're providing help to these people that don't want it, and then if you want it, you can't get into anywhere.
So you'd have to get arrested
You'd have to get arrested, go to jail, and commit a felony, mind you. It can't be a misdemeanor.
to get help.
Yeah.
That's kind of
And
sick,
then you
isn't
sit
it?
and then you wait in jail for months and months at a time, which this time doesn't count on your recovery. It just, so all you're doing is just sitting there getting more inmate mentality, getting more, you get stuck in this cycle. And it's like, okay, well, when I get out, screw that. I'm been already locked up. I'm not going to sit here and be locked up in another facility. These people, they don't want it. They just want to be out of prison.
Right.
And that's it. That's an easy way out. That's an easy way to abscond. That's an easy way to get out of things. So instead of offering the help to the people that actually want it, they're offering help to the people that use it as a means to get out of trouble.
And what have you been arrested for?
A lot of things. Prostitution, paraphernalia, burglary, grand theft.
So you've been in and out of jail?
Oh, yeah.
These things.
Not in the last 3 years, 4 years.
And mainly these things, you've had to do these things to maintain your habit?
Maintain my habit or just to live.
Yeah.
Because once you start getting into that cycle, and of course Titusville's a small town, everybody knows me.
Right.
Where am I going to go? Go to Burger King, get a job? No, they're going to know I was just out on the street, 3 weeks ago, selling my whatever, doing whatever,
Right.
So.
Right. It's got to be hard to try to get a job, even a minimum wage fast food job. And
A
have
minimum wage
conviction for something.
Even without having the conviction, just Titusville's so small that you're known, you're recognized, and people prejudge you just by the things that you've done. And it's like, I'm a good person. I've done a lot of things to help people, even though I've been on the streets, And it's my ambition. I know, like, my calling in life, and I know why I've been through what I've been through. And so, like, my main ambition was to counsel abused and addicted adolescents and women and to get help for them. And it just seems like I always end up taking 2 steps forward and 4 back. It just doesn't work.
How do you stay safe? How do you keep from getting raped and sexually assaulted on the street
I
as a
don't,
woman?
actually. I have a case pending against someone now that took me out to Hammock Road and tried to kill me. My best friend was murdered. You kind of go with your gut instinct. I know people. And
So what are the type of men that approach you? Are they ugly? Are they
it's all types.
married? The preachers?
All types. All types.
So there's no one stereotype that you have of a guy
No.
that wants to spend some time with you. No.
No.
And do you have a lot of friends on the street?
Yes. I grew up out there.
So your friends. So like let's say you don't make that much money. Would one of your friends help you out with with food or
housing. No drugs, maybe, but not
so
food or
drugs.
housing.
They would smoke some crack with you.
Oh no,
or
most of my friends don't smoke. They'll give it to me. You know what I mean? Like, but as far as money for hell no. That's funny.
Wow. So we both have this guy Willie Taylor in common that we both know that he's starting a thing called Fighting Edge, and Willie cares a lot about the community and what's going on with people, as do I. You know, have you ever reached out to people like him that you know of and say, hey, you know, I need a little bit of help? Or
Willie's helped me a number of times to get a place to live or something to eat or something like that. Willie is one of the few people that I can say, but Willie's been my friend from when I was sober, another time in my life. You know, Willie will actually bring me food and things like that. Have I reached out? Not so much. I'm used to being turned down. So usually if I'm going to do something, I do it on my own, you know.
So before this life, were you the soccer mom, like involved in this kid's school and all that kind of stuff? No? No.
I was just, I've been married since I was a teenager, and my first baby's dad was incredibly abusive. I wasn't even allowed to open the windows, the blinds, nothing, which is how I met Willie. He lived in my apartment complex, and I ended up just meeting him. He was actually a police officer then, and turned out to be a good friend. We had kids the same age, and so no, I haven't lived any kind of a normal life.
No. And so like, let's say like one of my viewers reached out to me and they said, hey, you know, we have a treatment facility that would take Marissa and help her out. Or Mandi, I'm sorry, Mandi. Would help Mandi.
I doubt I would want a treatment facility at this point. I don't know.
So right now, that's not something that you want?
I'm not sure.
Not sure. So is there anything that you do need right now? Is there any food, clothing, housing?
I lost everything I own. I could really use clothes. As far as housing goes, I've been staying at the Budget Motel. I'm paying $60 a day there. And so
that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it would really help me to be able to get off the street, to just have a little bit of, maybe a week there. You know, my birthday's Thursday.
You could afford a nice apartment here in Titusville for that kind of money.
But the problem with that is, I've heard that a lot, and the problem with that is I can't bring an apartment $20 and then come back later and bring the apartment another $30 and still have a place to stay. They're going to look at me crazy.
Right. They want it all up front at once at the beginning of the month. So those are some of the things. So do you get food stamps? Do you get
I don't.
So do you have one of those things also known on the street as an Obama phone?
I don't. I pay for my own phone.
So you pay for your own phone and your own everything, your own food.
Yeah.
And
my own hygienes, everything. I don't use the government for anything because there are people out there that, I mean, I make enough money, even though I have a habit, I make enough money on the street to supply myself with those things, so I won't take it from someone that actually needs it. And even though I'm on drugs, you know, I'll still kind of pay for my own.
Right. So let me ask you this: what's your motivation for you know, doing this video with me today?
I just want, if one person hears my story, one person that's maybe struggling with something or something else, maybe I just want, first of all, for everyone to know that there's no help for females in Brevard, especially voluntary. And also, if just one person hears my story and it saves them, because my best friend was murdered. She was murdered very violently, and she was put in the water, and she was 24 years old. And she has a son that...
How long ago was that?
That was, it's been almost 2 years now.
2 years. And she was found right here in the Indian River?
Not, yes, actually. It was actually a manatee hammock. It was by a man, actually, that was living a way out, Bill Foley's house, and his name was Lance. And I knew him, actually. I hung out with him like a multitude of times until I was finally like, dude, you're weird, I gotta go. You know? And so I was this close to being her. And a month before she died, I looked at her and I told her, I feel like I'm supposed to save you. And I really did, and I couldn't. And so now if I can just save just one person, just Brevard County needs help. Just funding for a women's shelter, a voluntary shelter, something, a halfway house. There is so much more for men than there is for women.
I agree.
And women are the ones that struggle more because we can get it easier. I mean, you know, it's just a fact.
So what do you do to prevent pregnancy or, you know, STDs, things like? Where would you go if you needed health care? If you ended up pregnant, or you had a sexually transmitted disease or anything, hepatitis?
Health department.
You go to health department?
Emergency room.
So those are you have no health insurance right now, no Obamacare as it's called. So, you know, I mean,
pay out of pocket.
out of pocket. So have you had any pregnancy scares, and does that
No,
scare
I don't
you
do
too?
things like that. I'm very careful.
I would think that's got to be scary to think of
No.
bringing a child into the world on the streets, you know.
I won't bring a child into the world on the streets. I'll leave.
Yeah.
I'll go back to California until I've had the baby. I mean, I don't bring,
Was there more help in California than there is here?
I have a support system in California. I have an entire family up there that got clean off meth, but
We're talking real family, or we're talking about street family?
real family. But the thing about them is they've never been in my life.
Right.
And so when I go down there, I'm just like a,
Do they judge you and make you feel bad?
no, I'm just a project.
You're their pet project.
You know what I mean? It's like,
the black sheep of
nah.
the family.
No, they all
No?
were on meth. They all know what time it is. It's just I'm a project because they've all been clean for 10 plus years. So now I'm this, they gotta fix me kind of thing. And so I just become this project, and my chip on my shoulder is like, y'all weren't there to fucking help me every time I called you my whole life, so fuck you. Why are you gonna tell me how to live now? Excuse me, but why are you gonna tell me how to live now that I'm almost 29 years old, full grown? I've given birth to 3 children, one of which died. I'm on the streets. I already know what time it is. I know about life. I don't need you to tell me about life. I just need your help. And so they don't want to give that. If it's not their way, it's no way. And I know they don't really feel like that, and I appreciate everything that they did for me, but at the same point in time, I don't need anybody to butt into my life. I just need some help and a little bit of guidance, you know?
Right. Wow. I wish there was something more that I could do for you other than to put your story out there to the people of Titusville to see if maybe somebody will reach out and has some help or a suggestion for you. It breaks my heart to know that, I'm going to drop you off in a few minutes down the street, and I mean, something awful could happen to you, and I would feel
But it
terrible.
won't. I'll be okay. My birthday's Thursday, so yeah.
So for the record, your name is
Mandi.
Mandi, and you give us your last name?
No.
No. Okay. And do you have a name you go by on the streets?
No.
No. Just Mandi.
Just Mandi.
So if we ask for Mandi, people will know who
everybody
we're
will
talking
know who you're talking about.
All right.
Pretty infamous.
Okay. All right. Well, is there anything you'd like to say to your children if your children were to see this video?
I talk to my children every day, but to my mom, I don't tell you enough. Just thank you, Mom, for taking care of them, because I don't want to do this anymore. Can you shut that off, please?